Hey, yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Crunch Time back with another video, and today we're talking about one of my favorite players in the league. Actually, his team, right? So, I guess you could call me a product of the modern NBA. The time I really got into the league was when it was starting to turn towards a three-point shot, and I instantly fell in love with that aspect of the game. I fell in love with Stephen Curry and all he was doing, right? He's my favorite player so much so that I modeled my actual game in real life, man. I played some high school ball. I modeled my game after Stephen Curry. He's one of my favorite players. And after that, it's probably Ja or Trae Young. And who does Trae Young play for? That's right, the Atlanta Hawks. Epic segue, I know. The Atlanta Hawks were one of the most exciting teams in the NBA last season. They just had one of the best off seasons of any team, in my opinion. Yes, that includes the Lakers, okay? As much as I complained about LeBron and AD and the whole super team that they're building over there in Los Angeles, they still didn't have a better offseason than the Atlanta Hawks, in my opinion. And I don't think people are talking about this enough, man. The Atlanta Hawks had one of the sneakiest, best offseasons in the league, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Hopefully you're following, man. Travis Schlenk, the Hawks GM, if you don't know, he's trying to build the Golden State Warriors of the East, bro. Like, it's kind of funny to watch, but I mean, he's doing a really good job with the team. The moves he's made are great, especially in free agency this offseason. They were one of the most active teams in free agency this offseason. They signed Rajon Rondo, Danilo Gallinari, Chris Dunn, and Boban Bogdanovic. And while these moves have raised a few questions about like their rotations, especially surrounding their big men, because now they have to balance minutes between Gallinari, John Collins, Clint Capella, Bruno Fernando, and incoming rookie Onyeka Okongwu, because he has some really solid potential, in my opinion. But overall, they got so much better this offseason, and that's really good for them, because I think last season, right, they were one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, obviously, that's why they got one of the top picks in the draft, but I think they were like, the third worst team in the league, or the fourth worst team in the league. They were bad, right? Not just in the Eastern Conference, like in the entire league, they were the fourth worst. So yeah, they were definitely struggling. But after this offseason, I think that they got a whole lot better. And so yeah, I really like what the Hawks are doing as they build a team around Trae Young. And it definitely helps that they don't have to throw the bag at him yet, right? Because he's still making pennies, basically, to play like a superstar. Yeah, I guess you could call Trae not a superstar, but he's playing. I could see him reaching superstar potential for sure. Maybe his defense puts a cap on that. I don't know. But speaking of defense, that's the one really big weakness in this game. And the Hawks have just gotten a bunch of players that really complement that weakness and kind of will help them hide that weakness out on the court. I think their positions 1 through 3 of their starting lineup are set in stone. They're probably going to run a lineup of Trae, Bobby, and either DeAndre Hunter or Kevin Huerter. I don't think it really matters who they put there. Personally, I'd rather have Huerter because I don't know. I feel like he fits Trae more. I feel like he fits Trae a bit more. He's really like a shooter, and he's a decent defender. So I think they need that next to Trae especially. But Boban Bogdanovic, can we talk about Bobby, man? He was such a solid pickup for the Hawks this offseason, man. And I don't know what the Bucks are doing. I don't know what even happened. I think this is what I've been hearing, that the Kings didn't tell Boban that it was a sign and trade. I think he just thought he was re-signing, and so that whole thing with the Bucks fell through, and then he went to the Hawks, right? So that's just something really interesting to me, man. I don't know what happened there. All I know is that it really screwed Milwaukee over, because I think Boban was the only player that Giannis really wanted. I think that was who he requested that the Bucks sign in the offseason in this free agency period, and they couldn't get that done. So I don't know what the future holds for Giannis, but this isn't a Giannis video. We're here to talk about the Hawks, man. I think their 4 and 5, their big men, are a bit less clear, because I think running Collins is a must. However, I don't think running him at center is the best of ideas. I like the duo of him and Trae tremendously, as he provides some level of spacing, and that's always a great thing to have in the modern day NBA. But then they just paid Gallinari, who can't really run center, and I've heard that they might run him at the 3, but no, I don't think they do that. I really don't think they should do that, because offensively, that'll be fire, that'll be amazing, but defensively, he just can't keep up with perimeter players. He'll get cooked every time down the court, and you need someone who can kind of anchor this team on defense, especially when your star player is Trae Young and you're building around Trae Young. So I suggest that he plays the 4. He can keep up with power forwards just a lot better than he can keep up with small forwards. So really his only position is the 4. And what? They're going to push Collins to the 5? I don't think they do that either, because I don't really want him guarding centers. I think John Collins is like 6'9", 6'10". He might get bullied down there. He's probably going to get bullied down there with most centers in the league. So I don't think they do that. And on top of that, you're paying Clint Capella $14 million a year to sit on the bench? Nah, man, I don't know about that one. Maybe he's your, 6th man? I don't know. This whole 4 through 5 position is just really confusing for the Hawks. And then on top of that still, they just drafted power forward / center Onyeka Okongwu, who's a very defensive-minded big man. I think that if the Hawks develop him right, he could definitely be an all-star in the league. But I don't know, man. Onyeka, yeah, he's showing a lot of promise, so I think they really need to develop him right now, as I said earlier. But their minutes are all kind of taken up by, Gallinari and John Collins and Clint Capella at the 4s and 5s, right? But I think they need to run him more at the center more than anything, because they really need him to develop into a center more than a power forward right now. Because I think if they keep John Collins and they keep Onyeka, and Onyeka really develops into a nice center, man, they'll be set, bro. I think that they should really start developing him at a center immediately, man. But overall, there are just so many different lineups that the Hawks could roll out, and after this offseason, they are one of the deepest teams in the league. Actually, I think they're the deepest team in the league. Maybe the Lakers are competitive for that title, but I don't know, man. I really like this Hawks lineup, and I think an underrated signing for them is Chris Dunn, who's one of the best guard defenders in the league. Like, I'm talking top 5 to 10 defenders at his position. He's got perimeter players on lock, man. He's got their number every time down. And so, yeah, defensively, that's great, especially if he's going to be presumably Trae Young's backup. Offensively, I don't think he offers much, but just for that defense alone, I think that was a really underrated signing. And then they just signed, of course, Rajon Rondo, who's coming off a phenomenal playoff performance. Like, the Hawks are going to be a very, very fun team to watch. Then the only question left to answer is, are they a playoff team? Yeah, I'd say so. I'd probably say a 5 to 7 seed, a solid 5 to 7 seed. It all really depends on how they deal with their players' minutes and the rotations. But if everything goes well, if everything is handled perfectly, I can honestly see them being a 3 or 4 seed. Like, that's at best, right? Because they still have to compete with the Bucks, the Nets, the Sixers, who got a lot better. I'll talk about them in another video. They got quite a bit better this offseason. They have to compete with the Raptors, maybe. I don't know what the future holds for the Raptors. It's really uncertain. They have to compete with the Celtics. I might have already said that, but the point being, the East is really good now. And so is the West, man. The league is just so good now. Both the West and the East are competitive. Obviously, the West, in my opinion, I think in most people's opinions, the West is a bit more competitive than the East, but that's not to take away from the competitiveness of the East now. Man, the NBA is just, it's going crazy right now. But yeah, so the primary takeaway from this video, don't sleep on the Atlanta Hawks, man. Don't sleep on Trae Young. Don't sleep on John Collins. Don't sleep on Travis Schlenk. Don't sleep on that entire organization down in Atlanta, bro. Because they're about to come out of nowhere and take the league by storm, man. I'm calling it. Anyways, that's all I have for y'all today, man. Thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe if you mess with the content, man. I'm trying to hit 100 subs by the end of the year. So, yeah, a subscription would be really appreciated. Other than that, take it easy, guys. It's been your boy Crunch Time, and I'll see you next time. Peace.